You're watching Seven Rivers Sports here on KQEG. I'm your host, Terry Erickson. Each week, an inside look into sports, wellness, fitness. Today, we continue our look at high school football in the area with two seniors from Crosse Logan, Christian Kapanke, CJ Siegel. Welcome to the show, guys.
And thanks for having us.
Thanks, Terry.
Christian, a biblical name. Tell us a little bit about that.
My parents have been religious, and so have I for my whole life. And I guess I went to a private school for 8 years too, so I guess they just like the name Christian.
So you drilled that, they drilled that religion into you, which is great.
Yeah.
And I know your whole family, of course, and well-grounded, good people, practice good values and so on, and that's reinforced certainly at home too, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
And how do you, is there ever a problem with, in life and when you're growing up, some of those things are questioned? I mean, how do you handle some of those difficult situations?
Well, yeah, high school is definitely difficult for a religious person, but I guess if you stick to your roots and you know what your beliefs are, then it's not too hard to say no to some things and state your beliefs to people, I guess.
And I know Christian James Siegel, CJ, has strong values and a good family too. And knowing you, both your families, friends of mine, that's when it all starts. It starts with the values you are taught at home, and you were taught the same values. How do you practice those?
Just being a good all-around person, I'd say, honestly. Just, my parents always teach me to give back to others and be respectful and be polite to all, even if I don't know them. So I just try to be a good all-around person, get to know people, let them know who I am also.
And that's why you're on the show, by the way, Christian Kapanke, CJ Siegel, because of what they represent. Well, let's go back to training camp. It started the season August 1st. Training camp, not always a favorite time for players. Hot, two-a-days. It's like a lot of kids don't even go out because of that, starting that early and taking away from the summer. Is that a challenge for you, Christian?
No, I look forward to practice every day. I was so ready for the season to start. My senior year, I couldn't be more ready, and even the two-a-days made it wasn't that hard for me.
Conditioning, a big part of two-a-days, but nowadays young people are in shape year-round, of course, and so it wasn't that difficult a transition from the summer months where you have a little less going on to training camp because you're always in shape, right, Christian?
I guess, but summer lifting we do at school, that helps a lot too. All the football players mostly come. It's in the morning, and our coaches really enforce us to come, so we're ready.
And it helps when you're on the beach too.
Yeah.
Because you get second looks from the females, which that doesn't hurt either, right?
Oh.
Well, and CJ, I know you are playing Division I football, and so you're certainly at a high level now. And training camp was your last go around for you, was kind of showcasing yourself, but making sure you didn't get hurt, making sure you're in good shape, and making sure you have the season of your life. Talk about training camp with you.
I went into training camp knowing that I wanted to be a leader for my team, and also knowing that I can get through it. I've done it for 3 years now, and I know how the process works. The process works of two-a-days and what it does to get through it and everything like that. So I just try picking up my teammates while I'm there, and the other seniors, they all help out too. So, I mean, you don't want to get through it. If you want to play football, you want to be there. You want to be getting better with your teammates. So.
Well, you certainly want to play at the highest level, and you don't want to live in the temple of regret where you end the season thinking, oh my gosh, if I'd have worked harder, if I would have dedicated myself, if I'd have been more committed, I would have had a better season. And too many people live in that temple of regret. Well, you're both leaders. There's no question about that. That's why you're on the show, and that's why you're standouts in the classroom too. But being a leader is more than just saying I'm a leader, more than being a captain. It's demonstrating exactly what you stand for on the field, off the field, in the classroom, and so on. And you're on a platform that most people don't want even that level of accountability. So there's team drama, people are not doing very well and so on. So sometimes you have to show your leadership by encouraging and so on. How do you do that, CJ?
Honestly, I just always try picking everyone up. I mean, people make mistakes, but we've had a few guys out for a couple games, but we just try during practice, just, hey, when you're back, we need you. You can't get down about things like this. So everyone on the team just got to get together, become a team, and get better every day.
Now, knowing you like I do, you're humble, and which is a tremendous characteristic, and Christian is too. But you're quiet. You show your leadership and your talent. You don't always say things. You just show it by the way you conduct yourself. Is that correct?
That is definitely correct. I'm more of a leader by example, and I try making plays for my team more of a vocal leader. And I don't use my words as much, but I've been trying more a little bit this year just to get everyone going by me. So I'm working on that, but I'm more of a leader by example.
Christian, knowing you like I do, knowing your family, knowing your dad who played for me many years ago, you have the same leadership abilities that he did, that CJ has, but you're not a real vocal leader either. You kind of try to lead by example, but there are times when maybe you need to step in and encourage or even reprimand somebody.
Yeah, leadership to me, I mean, our whole team, we have this one goal, a common goal, and so not all the teammates really know how to get there. So that's when leadership comes in. That's when you have to help your teammates, make sure they get to the same level as you are.
As we tape the show on the heels of a loss to Eau Claire Memorial. In fact, Eau Claire Memorial, one of my picks in the Big Rivers Conference, along with Menominee and Rice Lake. Eau Claire Memorial, well-coached, second-year head coach, and they are full of talent. Did they surprise you, Christian?
No, every year, I mean, they're pretty big and physical, but, I mean, this year, it definitely came down to who was tougher, and I guess we knew that they were going to be tough, so it wasn't that big of a surprise. Maybe the score was a little bit, but we shouldn't have lost that bad.
And things did not go your way, and yeah. I know you had trouble with their defensive line. Was it difficult in terms of having any kind of an offensive sustainability, drive, any consistency? Basically, that hurt you a great deal. CJ, you had some bright spots. You had 57 yards, 4 catches, and you had a good punt return, but certainly not what you wanted for yourself.
Mm-mm. Yeah, I mean, it's always nice making plays and things like that, so I try to do that as much as I can when I get the ball, but I mean, their defense that was a really good defense, a really good team, and I mean, we just got to execute more on offense. That's what we're working on this week. We're getting back to our basics, just the fundamentals, doing things right, and moving up one by one. So I think it'll be better this week than it was.
Well, last year, of course, there were so many playmakers in the conference. Seth Wilson at Holmen, 3 or 4 Onalaska players, and Trey Davis, of course. But there were a lot of players that were just standouts in open spaces. They were just hard to tackle. This year, the media has turned their attention to you being one of the top players in the conference in terms of your playmaking ability. Does that put undue pressure on you?
Honestly, to me, it doesn't. I mean, it's always nice, like, living up to the hype, I guess. Like, I also know what I'm capable of doing, and I know that I can go out and make plays, help out my teammates, and things like that. So none of that really scares me.
And of course, Christian, too, you were profiled in the paper last year. You were one of the top defensive players, both returning all conference. You were the top tackler last year with 91 total tackles. Yeah, I know you have a new defensive line, but you're in a pivotal position playing at that linebacker spot, and much is asked of you also.
Yeah, this year being a leader and all, but definitely the D line is not what it used to be, but they know what they're doing now, and it helps to have people down there who know what they're doing and taking our blockers so that we can scurry free and make a tackle in the hole.
Give us a quick thought on the challenges of teams breaking the huddle, come to the line of scrimmage, and you're in a set defense and you need to make some audible changes.
When depending on their formation, we usually change the call a lot, but usually we like to keep it simple for the D linemen, and then the defensive linebackers also have to know what they're doing, so we all have to be on the same page.
And what about your keys for stunting packages?
When we stunt, we usually don't like to show it, obviously, but you want it to be quick and fast, and so the offensive line is confused and all that. So I mean, we might have people going the same direction, the other directions, misdirections, and so when we do that, we have to execute it most of all.
What's your biggest skill set? Your strongest skill as a defensive linebacker?
Definitely is being quick, shedding blockers, and making tackles. And wrestling helps with that a lot. I mean, being a three-sport athlete is awesome and all, but it really helps when you're a linebacker and you have to wrap someone up. And wrestling, that's what we do all practice.
Yeah, you sure do, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that and about the skills you show in other sports when we return. We'll be back with more with CJ Siegel and Christian Kapanke right after this.
At Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, we have assembled a championship team
who listens to what your needs are.
We install carrier comfort systems that improve the comfort, efficiency, and the air quality of your home and workplace.
We serve you with highly trained technicians who are prompt, friendly, and honest.
For Gold Star treatment, turn to the experts, Carrier and Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning.
Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, your comfort is our business.
Welcome back to Seven Rivers Sports. We continue our look at high school football here. As we tape the show in late August, the Logan Rangers just finished Game 1, getting ready for Eau Claire North on Friday night. Christian Kapanke, CJ Siegel. Before I went to break, Christian, you talked about wrestling. You're an accomplished wrestler, actually a three-sport athlete, baseball too. Is wrestling your best sport?
I wouldn't say it's my best sport. It's definitely the toughest. I'd say probably football is my favorite and best sport.
Well, and both academic all-conference standouts in the classroom, demonstrating student first, athlete second. You've been student of the month, Christian, 3.5 GPA, outstanding leader in terms of putting academics first. Hard to do being a three-sport athlete?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, waking up at 5 sometimes to finish homework, or staying up till past 1 o'clock. After practice, I mean, it's hard, but you have to get it done.
And CJ, balancing, not easy. You're a three-sport athlete, a all-state competitor, a state conference at UWL and track and field 3 times, and all-conference in 3 sports, National Honor Society. Former Boys and Girls Club Athlete of the Year. Yeah. That's pretty special, but academics, I know, strong in your family too, and their expectations are that you dedicate yourself in that area.
Yep. My mom's always on me. I mean, it's also a good thing, but it's always on me to make sure I get my homework done, make sure I'm doing extra study time for classes, and just make sure that academics is first for anything, because if it wasn't for academics, you wouldn't be anywhere else.
Well, as we talked earlier on, CJ signing a letter at the University of North Dakota, playing defensive back, and according to what I talked to your parents about, you had a level of comfort there, but there was other opportunities too, perhaps even in basketball, and more likely in track and field, that you could go on and compete. Take us through that decision of going to North Dakota.
Oh man, honestly, this summer I focused a lot on football, because I thought a little bit more that is what I wanted to do. I was also doing basketball, like summer workouts and things like that. I just didn't enjoy it as much, so went to a lot of football camps, met coaches, and got recruited like that. And just that entire time through track season, also North Dakota was there for me, always telling me how much they appreciated me, how much they wanted me to join their team. And the offer came and I went up to visit there, and I just fell in love there. So, I mean, it all sat in right there, and I just made the final decision.
Good, and you made it early, so you wouldn't have to worry about that during your senior year.
Yeah.
And of course, Christian, you could go on and play, participate, and compete collegiately too. But you're going in a different direction.
Yeah, I think I haven't made it final yet, but I decided to help pay for college by being a United States Marine Reservist and then going to college second semester. So, I mean, going next summer, I'll be going to boot camp for 13 weeks. And I know I could play college football, but that's not what my focus is at next year. It's more on school academics, I guess.
Boy, that's unbelievably impressive, Christian, and it doesn't surprise me, but have you done some research on what it takes to get through boot camp?
Yeah. I mean, I've had many relatives go through it. I've had my brother, my dad, my grandpa, my uncle. A lot of people in my family have gone through it.
So what's special then about being a Logan High School student-athlete?
You get a lot of recognition and pride from being. All the coaches want you to be 3 sports, and all the teachers want you to do well in the classroom. So if you do both, that's pretty outstanding.
Well, and I think, CJ, knowing a lot of young people, even our grandchildren that know you very well, and again, being on a platform, you know that you're under the microscopic eye all the time with those young kids. And what advice would you have for them in terms of young people wanting to someday follow your lead?
I say that honestly, there's always people that are going to say you can't do something. I say no matter what, stick to it, because I grew up knowing that I wanted to play collegiately at whatever sport it may be, and you know, I just worked hard through that, got through school, and here I am right now. Let's reflect on last year quickly. You had a good season. You were tied for second in the conference and went deep into the playoffs. And of course, the goals, I assume, similar, to get on top of the conference and go into the playoffs. Personal goals, though, for you? Last year, I wanted to be an all-conference player, and I mean, just played out that I happened to be in the ballot for All-State. So this year, my focus personally is all-conference, all-region, and hopefully be on All-State again, be able to go to Green Bay and have a good time there. I think you're on your way, too. And as well as you, Christian, you were all-conference last year. Again, one of the outstanding linebackers in the conference. Personal goals for you this year? It's definitely to beat my my record in tackles and be at the top of the conference too in linebacker. I know you have a strong family. We talked about that. But outside of that, role models that you have? My dad definitely is a role model for me. He shows me all the good life advice and good ethics. And my other role model for sports probably is Dan Gable. He's a Olympic wrestler, but I went to one of his speeches for the Loggers or something, and he had this one thing that stuck with me. It's he worked hard in every aspect of life, and I mean, he went to practice wanting to have that feeling to quit, but he wouldn't quit, or something like that. Yeah, exactly. In fact, I was at the same speech and met him when you did. And again, we talked about your family, CJ, but you have somebody kind of in the past that inspired you. Yeah, my grandma for sure. She's passed away, but just every time I was with her, she would tell me, like, you can do anything you want. You can be whatever person you want to be. You just got to keep working hard. Don't let anyone tell you can't do anything. So I really took that to heart, and it's always with me here today. Grandma Siegel. Yep. Passed away a few years ago? Yeah, like 4 years ago. And so when you play, you always have her occasionally on your mind? Yep. Get a little prayer in before every game, just knowing she's there, telling her I love her and things like that. Good for you, yeah. When I run races a lot, as you probably know, and I have a couple people on my shoulder that I think about every step of the race. So we all have that, no question about it. If I ask teammates to describe Christian Kapanke,
what would they say?
I would say, I hope they'd say I'm scary, because I try to like get that on some people, but in a kind of a way, like a teammate. But I would definitely think that some of them would say that I'm hardworking, and I work hard in everything, making sure I do what I want and accomplish what I have to get done. 20
years from now, when they look in the Logan High School Ranger Annual and they see your picture, what do you want them to say?
I want them to say that I'm accountable, humble young man. Say that also kind to all people, and just showed respect to everyone around the school.
Favorite saying that CJ Siegel has that kind of maybe characterizes who he is?
I'd say attack every day like it's your last. I mean, so I attack every day with aggression, whether it's on the field or just in life, just knowing that, you know, every day is a new day and you gotta get through it. Even if it's something you don't want to do, you have to be there and you have to do it. So, I mean, attack every day like it's your last and how you want it to be.
And you also, somebody told me that you enjoy some of the things that Muhammad Ali said.
Yeah, he's a big inspiration for me, just because he conquered a lot, overcame many things, and I mean, just not being able to box for a while because of his race and religion and everything like that, and just overcoming basically the world, honestly, and just becoming the greatest boxer of all time. It's really inspiring to me. So
if I was going to choose a word to describe and kind of maybe take your thoughts, I would use the word courage.
Yep.
Because he demonstrated all kinds of courage. Mm-hmm. When you get up in the morning, Christian, what's the first thing on your mind typically? How do you want to approach the day?
Every day I just want to get better, just one step better. And if you wake up in the morning thinking, man, it's going to be a rough day, it's probably not the best thing. Probably not going to be a good day. But, I mean, when I wake up, it's a great day to have a great day. And that's said by Tyler Von Hayden. He's one of my favorite coaches. But, yeah, he always says that at practice. It's a great day to have a great day. So.
And you have no regrets. I mean, you're comfortable in your skin. So many people are not, but something tells me that both of you are comfortable in who you are and what you represent. Mm-hmm. CJ too?
Yep.
Good.
Yeah, for sure.
Good. Well, we wish you the best during the season. We'll be covering many of your games here on KQEG. And I know you'll be successful both in school, in sports, and in life, because you're just two quality young men. So we want to thank you for being on the show.
Thanks again for having us.
We'll be back with some film clips from this week's games right after this.
At Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, we have assembled a championship team
who listens to what your needs are.
We install carrier comfort systems that improve the comfort, efficiency, and the air quality of your home and workplace.
We serve you with highly trained technicians who are prompt, friendly, and honest.
For Gold Star treatment, turn to the experts, Carrier and Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning.
Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, your comfort is our business.
Welcome back to Seven Rivers Sports. Well, Rick and I were at Roger Herring Field for an MVC matchup, Onalaska at Aquinas. Both teams on the heels of a loss the previous week. Tom Yashinsky's Hilltoppers picked up their first conference win of the season, scoring all of their points in the first half. Senior quarterback Noah Skifton passed for 4 TDs, connecting with wide receiver Landon Skimp for 2 of those touchdowns. Junior Alex Franzini replaced an injured Nathan Labinski and rushed for 2 TDs. Onalaska also had an interception courtesy of sophomore Hank Olson. Sophomore Connor Haggerty, also an outstanding defense performance. The Blue Goals scored on a 70-yard TD pass, quarterback Jacob Salvadelli to junior Brandon Murfeld in the second quarter. Final score, Onalaska 42, Aquinas 6. Aquinas hosts Central at Roger Herring Field on Friday, and we will be there to bring you all the action. Onalaska hosts Logan in an all-important MVC matchup, homecoming night for the Hilltoppers. Our other crew was at Empire Stadium in Holmen as the Red Hot Vikings entertained the Central Red Raiders. Holmen jumped to a 7-0 lead courtesy of a 12-yard run by quarterback Isaac Hanlon. Central got on the board in the second, a 6-yard TD pass from quarterback Johnny Davis to Stephen Crosse. A 2-point conversion, Greg Kohler to senior Zach Luth. Senior linebacker Abe Moling energized the Holmen crowd with a 95-yard record interception return for a TD, followed by 2 more second-half Holmen TDs. Drew Becker, a 36-yard run, and Mitchell Torrud from 1 yard out. 28-8 Vikings at halftime. Becker again in the third from 39 yards out. Kevin Cable, a 1-yard run, and finally an Isaac Hanlon 1-yard run, 48-8 after 3. The Red Raiders scored twice in the fourth on runs by Greg Kohler and Matt Johnson. Final score, Holmen 48 and Central 20. Central at Aquinas on Friday night, and Holmen at West Salem at Swanson Field also on Friday. Well, thanks for joining us this week here on 7 Rivers Sports. I'm your host, Terry Erickson, hoping you have an active and a healthy week ahead.